Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel, Face by Pace. This is a quick introduction to the rest of my channel, which is basically focused on beauty inside and out. My name is Pace, I'm a makeup artist, and more importantly to me, I am a college graduate from the University of Pittsburgh. I studied psychology and French. French is not really going to be relevant on this platform, but psychology will be. As I stated, it's going to be focused on beauty inside and out. So you're going to see makeup tutorials, vlogs, get ready with me, things like that, tips and tricks on how to, get better skin, even though my skin is not perfect and not nearly perfect. But also, in addition to that, we are going to talk about things involving mental health, like depression, anxiety, other sort of personality disorders that people face, because it's a reality that people do face them, whether society accepts it or not. Some of these things are actual diseases, and you shouldn't be shamed for having them. And it's okay to have a dark day where you can't get out of bed, or you are crippled by your anxiety and you literally cannot do anything but sit there and think about these thoughts over and over and over again. But the purpose here is to share some methods that are used in psychotherapy that I found to be helpful when implemented to get through these bouts of anxiety or depression or what have you. And I hope that this helps you if you're going through anything. You don't have to have a clinical disorder to be feeling some of the ways that you can feel when you have a mental health disorder. So we're going to discuss that, and in this video today, it's going to be really brief. I am just showing you a simple makeup tutorial. Yes, it is simple, I promise you. You can do it. If you have higher self-efficacy about the task at hand, you are more likely to do well on it. So that's some psychology right there for you. So this look is basically a simple, like, fall holiday glam. It can be your go-to look. Just change lipstick out every day. It's really not that difficult. I know you can do it. Please like the video, subscribe to my channel if you enjoy it. And I'm really super awkward, so I hope this goes well. Alright, if you want to see how to achieve this look, just continue to watch. Alright, so first you want to start with a damp beauty blender. I'm using the Fenty Beauty Foundation in the color 310. I like to mix that with the L'Oreal Infallible Matte Foundation because it gives you more of a mattifying look, because the Fenty alone can be a little bit dewy and my skin's kind of oily. Also, it gives me a little more coverage because I do have some acne scars, and I like to start personally in the cheek area because I know that's where I am going to need the most coverage to cover up those scars. You want to make sure you blend your foundation from your hairline down to your neck and over your ears as well, in the event that your foundation doesn't completely match. Next, we're taking the SEPHORA concealer in the color Madeline, and I am going to highlight / conceal with this. Mostly highlight. I know it looks like a lot because it is a lot. You want to do this in like a triangular shape below your eyes, and take a little bit up the bridge of your nose, your forehead, and your chin. And basically what you're doing is drawing light to these areas of your face. So once it's all blended out and we add contour, it's going to make your face look a little more chiseled, bring some dimension back in, and yeah, that's pretty much it. So you're going to blend it out with your same beauty blender that has foundation on it. It's going to give you more of a seamless look. Alright, so then we have the Locket. Just kidding. LA Girl Pro Foundation, just because the Sephora alone can kind of crease pretty easily even if you do set it. So going back in with that. Now we are going to bake with the Locket setting powder by Kat Von D in her regular transparent color. And you just want to apply that to all the areas that you added concealer to. Also, kind of, for me, I do it in my smile lines because I know that's where I'm going to get significant creasing, so I try and hold the product there by baking. Next, we're taking the Snow Glow palette by Sephora. I'm using a lot of Sephora brands. Then you're going to take an angled brush, and we're going to bronze the places that you're going to later contour. You want to do this in like circular motions, and make sure you're just kind of blowing out the color. You don't want it to look really streaky or too harsh, so blend in circular upward motions. And we're doing this to add some color and dimension back to our face, because when you use foundation, it can make you look very one-dimensional. Alright, so now we're going in with the Too Faced Cocoa Contour Palette. I did hit the pan on it. So I'm taking the darker bronzer color, well, warmer color basically, and putting it to the places that we're going to contour, and then taking more of the ashy color. Don't worry, it's a little bit too much right now, but we're going to fix that. So you're going to clean off the angled brush and basically go back and do circular upward motions on the places that you applied the product. And the reason you use an ashy color when you're contouring is to make it more of a shadow, because, you know, shadows are cool toned, they're not warm. So I'm basically going to do a talk through now. So I'm using my Tartlette in Bloom palette, which is, I've used it a lot thus far, and I am using like a fluffy brush and just something from Macy's, but it is my favorite blending brush ever. So I'm mixing like a light powder called I'm messing up. A light shadow called Charmer, and Flower Child, which is kind of like a light pink, more like a nude, and I'm going to blend it actually all over my lid from the crease upward. So don't ignore these, ignore these little concealer lines or foundation, whatever was in there, it was foundation, that form, because I'm basically just blending it out. No, I don't use eyeshadow primer. It's not really necessary right now, with one, because I blend my foundation up over my eyelids, and so that makes it a little bit tacky. And if you use pretty good eyeshadows, you don't really need primer all the time, but sometimes it's nice if you really need it to stay in place, if you're doing like a complicated look or whatever. But right now we're going real simple. So I'm going to take Sweetheart, which is like a pink, and I'm going to put that in my crease. It's going to be just kind of like a nude go-to look. I'm using the same blending brush, and with these shadows I can just kind of like rub it back and forth, but there will come a point where it needs to be circular motions like this. But right now, because it's a fluffy brush, it's not like domed or tapered or anything, I just really needed to go over my whole crease, and I rub it back and forth. The edges of the brush will kind of like blow it out over your eyelid. Alright, so you can kind of see, that kind of just gives me like an outline of where I'm going to put the rest of the color. So taking the same blending brush, I'm telling you, it's a go-to. And I'm taking Lula out of the Anastasia Master Palette by Mario, Kim Kardashian's makeup artist. I'm taking the color out of there, called Lula, and I'm doing small little circles in the crease right here. And you can see as I'm baking, I didn't put a whole lot of baking powder on it, even though it may have looked like it. It's starting to absorb into my skin, which is what we wanted to do. So I take the time to do other things during this process. Sometimes, like, pay attention to little lines like that kind of appear, and just use the side of the brush to blend it out. Take a little more. It's always a little bit harder to do this eye since you have to cross your hand over your face, because you're going at a completely different angle. This side allows you to be more free a little bit. The further back you grab on the brush, the more like loose your circles are going to be able to be. Like you have a little less control when you're up close and personal. You have a lot of control on the brush. Alright, so you can kind of see it. Well, you can see the creases. Anyways, now I'm taking my domed brush. I wiped a little bit of the product out of it. And I'm actually going to take a Violetta, which is a brown, and mix it with Claudia, which is like a smoky gray, and a little bit with NYC, which is a burgundy. So you see there's like a cluster there on the end. I'm going to take it in first. I'm going to choke up the brush so it's really controlled. So I really only want it in the corner. And I'm going to drag it forward a little bit. Now I'm going to do it wider in circular motions. Choke it up again and bring it forward. So you should see a difference there and there. So you're just going to blend away in the corner crease. I sped this up a little bit because it's a lot of tight blending, but you're going to slowly build the product. You don't want to put a whole lot on because you can't really take it off. Now I'm going to get a flat brush. We're going to take Marina, which is like a silvery pink, and put it on this portion of the lid. I'm not going to drag it all the way to where we did the crease. Like, I'm not going to do it over it, is what I mean. I'm just going to kind of pack the shadow on. It's like, I need that brush again, and I put it away. First I like to swipe it early. And just take that shadow and just kind of drag it forward again so it like melts with the rest of it. I'm going to take this flat brush by MAC. It is 287 SE. And I'm going to take NYC, that kind of burgundy, and I'll mix it with Muse, which is a lighter one. I'm gonna let it get on my waterline a little bit, but mostly it's my lower lash line. There we go. Now you'll want to dust off all the baking powder that you applied using a big kabuki brush. You don't want it to look ashy, so make sure you dust off all the product. Next, you're going to take that same angled blush brush, and we're applying a satin blush in the color Coral, and you're going to apply this in basically a check mark shape, like a Nike swoosh, and you're kind of going to want to blend it into your cheeks. Next, from the Snow Glow palette, we're taking both of the highlighters that they have in there and applying it to the very top of your cheekbone. So when the light hits it, it reflects it. The tip and bridge of your nose, your Cupid's bow. And you can also do this in kind of a C shape on your cheekbones and around your eyes if you want to as well. I decided to be extra and add the transform, and it was a little bit much, so I went back in with my kabuki brush and kind of just blended all that out because it looks crazy. Now we're going to set with just this SEPHORA setting spray. Thank you so much for watching. This is the completed look, and hopefully I'll see you in another video.